I knew something was wrong with Claire, but I kept telling myself it was only a rough season. That evening, rain tapped against our apartment windows while I sat at the kitchen table. Claire placed her phone beside her glass, folded her hands, and looked at me with an expression I could not understand. "Can we talk?" "Of course," I said. She took a slow breath. "What would you think about opening our marriage?" "Opening our marriage?" "Yes." "You mean dating other people?" She nodded. "Seeing other people. Being honest about it. No secrets. No cheating." I stared at her. "Claire, we have been married for 8 years." "I know. We promised each other we would be faithful. And I am not saying I want to lie to you." "Then what are you saying?" "I am saying I feel trapped." The word hit harder than I expected. Trapped. By our routine. By the same apartment, the same dinners, the same weekends. "I love you, Ethan. I really do. But sometimes I wonder if this is all my life is going to be." I swallowed. "So you want other men?" She looked down. "I want freedom." "That is not an answer. I want to experience something different." "Is there someone already?" Her fingers tightened around each other. "Claire, it isn't serious." My chest tightened. "Who?" "Ryan." I leaned back slowly. "Your co-worker?" "Yes." "How long?" "Nothing happened." That wasn't my question. She looked at me, and I saw guilt in her eyes. "We have talked. We've had drinks after work. We've gotten close. You do know. I have feelings for him." The room suddenly felt smaller. "You came home every night and looked me in the eyes while you were developing feelings for another man." "I didn't plan this." "But you planned this conversation." She said nothing. I laughed once, but there was no humor in it. "So this isn't about freedom. You want permission." "Permission for what?" "To see Ryan without calling it betrayal." "That isn't fair." "Isn't it?" She stood and walked toward the window. "I don't want to lose you." "Then why are you asking me to share you?" "I don't know how else to explain it. You could have told me you were unhappy. I am telling you now. After you found someone else." She turned around. "I still love you. Love isn't supposed to make me feel replaceable." "I am not replacing you." "Then why does it feel like you're preparing a life where I am optional?" Her eyes filled with tears. "Because I don't want to wake up at 40 and hate myself for never taking a chance." I looked at the wedding photograph on the shelf behind her. We were younger in that picture. We were smiling like the future belonged to us. "You think our marriage is the thing holding you back?" "I think I need to know who I am outside it." "You could have figured that out without bringing another man into our bedroom." "I don't want him in our bedroom." "Not yet. I am asking you to trust me. To explore this without destroying what we have." "What we have?" She nodded. "You make it sound like a business arrangement." "I am trying to save us. By opening the door for someone else." "Maybe." "Claire, I have given you everything I know how to give." "I know. I stayed late at work when we needed money. I turned down that promotion because you wanted us to move here. I supported your career when you were struggling." "I know, Ethan." "Then tell me what I failed to give you." She started crying. "You didn't fail me." "Then why am I being asked to accept this?" "Because I don't know how to feel alive again." Those words broke something inside me. I wanted to shout. I wanted to ask her to choose me. I wanted to remind her that we had survived sickness, debt, family fights, and years when we barely had enough money for dinner. Instead, I sat down. "If I agree, are you prepared for the possibility that I won't be waiting when you come back?" She blinked. "You would never do that." "You don't know that." "Ethan, you love me." "I do." "You always have." "Yes." She gave me a small, almost relieved smile. "You'll always be here." I looked at her for several seconds. That sentence stayed inside my mind, not because it comforted me, because it showed me exactly what she believed. She believed my love was permanent, no matter what she did with it. She believed I would remain the same man, standing in the same place, waiting for her whenever she became tired of someone else. I wanted to believe her, but every answer made the distance between us wider. I could feel our marriage slipping away while I sat there, listening quietly, unable to stop it. Slowly, I picked up my glass. Maybe you're right. She smiled. But inside, something had changed. For 8 years, I had protected our marriage because I was afraid of losing Claire. That night, for the first time, I became more afraid of losing myself. I did not know what would happen next, but I knew one thing. If Claire opened the door, I would not spend the rest of my life standing behind it, waiting for her to decide whether I was worth choosing. I agreed to Claire's proposal the next morning. Okay, I told her. We can try it. She stared at me. Really? I have one condition. What? No lies. If you meet someone, tell me. If you spend the night somewhere, tell me. I don't want secrets. Her face softened with relief. I can do that. Promise. I promise. She reached for my hand. Thank you, Ethan. I nodded, but my stomach felt like it was tied in knots. She thought I was afraid of losing her. Maybe I was, but part of me still believed that giving her freedom would make her understand what we already had. For the first few days, everything seemed almost normal. Then Ryan started appearing in every conversation. Ryan found this amazing little restaurant downtown, Claire said one evening. Sounds nice. You should try it sometime. Maybe. She smiled at her phone. What? Nothing. You're smiling. He sent me something funny. I looked back at my dinner. That's good. She barely touched her food. The next night, she came home late. Sorry, she said, removing her coat. Dinner? I already ate. With Ryan? She hesitated. Yes. I nodded. How was it? Really good. There was something in her voice I had not heard in years. Excitement. I hated how much I noticed it. A week later, Claire began dressing differently before leaving the apartment. You look nice, I said. Thank you. Special occasion. Just dinner. With Ryan. Yes. I forced myself to smile. Have fun. She paused. You really mean that? I said no lies. She walked closer. You aren't angry? I didn't say that. She touched my arm. I'll be back later. I watched her leave. That night, I slept on the couch. The next morning, I found myself staring at the ceiling, wondering when our home had stopped feeling like mine. Daniel came over that afternoon. He looked at the blanket on the couch, then at me. You're sleeping here now? Yeah. Why? Claire needs space. Daniel frowned. You agreed to this? I did. And you're pretending you're fine? I am fine. No, you're not. I looked away. Don't start. I'm your brother. I'm going to start. Daniel, this was my choice. You're destroying yourself because you're hoping she'll realize she could lose you. His words hit exactly where they needed to. I stayed silent. He sat beside me. That's what this is, isn't it? I thought if I gave her what she wanted, she'd understand. Understand what? That she doesn't need another man. That she needs me. Daniel shook his head. You can't make someone choose you. I know. Then stop trying. I rubbed my face. I love her. I know. I don't know how to stop. You don't have to stop loving her. You have to stop abandoning yourself. That night, Claire came home smiling. You're still awake. I was waiting. She sat beside me. Ryan took me somewhere beautiful. I'm glad. He makes me feel different. I swallowed. Different how? Alive. The word cut deeper than I expected. She noticed my expression. I'm sorry. Don't apologize for being honest. I think I'm finally happy, Ethan. I looked at her and forced a smile. Then I'm happy for you. She stared at me. Why aren't you angry? I took a slow breath. Because I'm starting to understand that I can't make someone choose me. Her smile disappeared. What does that mean? It means you have to choose your own life. And you? I have to choose mine too. She looked frightened for the first time. Are you saying you're leaving? I'm saying I don't know what happens next. But you agreed. I agreed to give you freedom. You said there would be no lies. And I'm not lying. She stood. Do you still love me? Yes. Then why don't you fight for us? Because love isn't a fight I can win alone. She wiped her eyes. I thought this would make us stronger. Maybe it will. How? Maybe losing what we were will teach us what we actually want. She said nothing. I turned off the lamp. A few days later, I heard her talking on the phone. I thought you wanted this, she said. I couldn't hear Ryan's reply. But you said we could spend time together. Another pause. You're busy again. Her voice changed. Fine. Call me when you want to see me. She ended the call and stood in the hallway. I looked up. Everything okay? Of course. Are you sure? She forced a smile. Ryan has work. You seem disappointed. I thought he would have time. I nodded. Maybe that's part of being free. She stared at me. What does that mean? It means nobody owes us time. She walked away without answering. For the first time, I wondered whether the freedom she wanted was becoming something she could not control. That night, I understood something I had been too afraid to admit. Claire thought freedom meant she could leave and return whenever she wanted. I was beginning to understand that freedom meant I could stop waiting. I closed the front door behind me and stood on the sidewalk with one suitcase in my hand. Daniel opened his apartment door before I could knock twice. You look terrible, he said. I feel worse. Then come inside. You can explain everything later. I don't know if I can explain it. You don't have to. Just stay. I stepped inside. For the first time in years, nobody was waiting for me to be somewhere, fix something, answer something, or apologize for something. Daniel put my suitcase beside the couch. How long are you staying? A few weeks. Good. You don't mind? I invited you. Of course I don't mind. I sat down and stared at the floor. Daniel handed me a glass of water. You're allowed to breathe now. I forgot how. Then learn again. That night, I barely slept. But when morning came, I did not check Claire's schedule. I did not send her a message. I did not wonder whether she had reached work safely. I simply sat by the window and asked myself a question I had avoided for years. What did I want? The answer did not come. Mia came 2 days later. She knocked, walked in, and stared at me. You cut your hair. I needed something to change. That isn't the change I meant. I know. She sat across from me. Do you remember who you were before Claire? I was different. You were alive. I am still alive. Barely. I smiled despite myself. That sounds encouraging. I'm serious. You built a small technology business from nothing. You were obsessed with software, clients, ideas, and solving problems. I abandoned it. You abandoned it for your marriage. I chose Claire. No, you chose disappearing. I looked away. Mia, that business is gone. Then start another one. With what money? With what you have. I don't have much. You have experience. I have failure. You have experience that survived failure. I shook my head. My life is already ruined. Mia leaned forward. Your marriage ended. Your life didn't. I said nothing. She repeated it. Your marriage ended. Your life didn't. Those words stayed with me long after she left. The next morning, I opened my old laptop. Daniel watched from the kitchen. What are you doing? Looking for clients. You're serious? I think so. That is the first hopeful thing you've said since you arrived. I don't feel hopeful. You don't need to feel hopeful. You just need to start. So I started. My first client needed a simple website. The second needed software repairs. The third wanted help with a system he could not understand. The money was small. The hours were long. Some nights, my eyes burned from staring at the screen. Still, I kept going. One night, my first client called after seeing the finished site. I didn't think you could finish that fast, he said. I wasn't sure I could either. You did excellent work. Thank you. I have another project. Can you take it? I looked at the clock. It may take a few days. That's fine. I want you to handle it. After the call, I sat quietly. It was a huge contract. It would not change my life overnight. But it was mine. Daniel walked in. Good news. My first repeat client. He smiled. Then maybe your life isn't ruined. I laughed. Maybe not. For the first time, I believed him. One evening, Daniel asked, "Have you talked to Claire?" "No, not once. Not unless she calls." "Why?" "Because I stopped waiting." He studied me. "Does that hurt?" "Yes." "Then why keep doing it?" "Because hurting is better than losing myself again." A week later, Claire called. I answered. "Hello. You've been quiet." "I've been working." "You haven't asked where I am." "I figured you'd tell me if it mattered." There was silence. "Are you angry with me?" "I was." "And now?" "Now I'm tired." "Are you seeing someone?" "No." "Then why are you acting like this?" "Like what?" "Like you don't need me." I looked at my laptop. I'm learning how to need myself. "Do you still love me?" My chest tightened. "Yes," I said. "I do. But loving you doesn't mean I have to destroy myself for you." Claire went quiet. Then she whispered, "I didn't expect that." "I know. You're really moving on." "I don't know what moving on means yet. I just know I'm moving." "Can we talk?" "Not tonight." "Why?" "Because tonight, I have work." Her voice changed. "You never said that before." "I should have." "Are you happy?" I looked around Daniel's small apartment, at the cheap desk, the old laptop, and the unfinished work waiting for me. "I don't know," I said. "But for the first time in years, I feel like I'm becoming myself again." Claire said nothing. When the call ended, I stared at the dark screen. I still loved her, but I no longer needed her permission to live. And somewhere inside that painful truth, I finally found the first piece of freedom I had forgotten existed. Ryan stopped answering my messages. I stared at my phone and called again. "Ryan, where are you?" His voice finally came through. "I'm busy." "You canceled dinner twice." "I told you, I'm busy." "You promised we'd talk tonight." "I didn't promise anything." I went silent. "What do you mean?" I asked. "I mean exactly what I said. Ryan, we've been together for months. And I thought we were building something." He laughed softly. "You thought that. I never said I wanted a future." The words hit me harder than I expected. "So what was this?" "Fun." "Fun?" "Yes. No pressure. No responsibility. That's why it worked." I gripped the phone. "I left my marriage because I thought you cared about me." "I cared about you." "Then why are you disappearing?" "Because you're asking questions I don't want to answer." "Are you seeing someone else?" "No." "Then why won't you see me?" "Because this has become complicated." I swallowed. "You made it complicated." "No, Claire. You did. You turned something exciting into something serious." The call ended. I sat alone and finally asked myself the question I had avoided. Had I mistaken attention for love? While I struggled with that answer, my work was changing. Mia introduced me to 3 new clients in 1 week. "You're going to need help soon," she told me. "I can handle it." "You said that when you had 1 client." "I learned." She smiled. "Good. Because I have someone else who wants to meet you." "Who?" "Sophia Grant." I dropped my coffee. "Grant? As in the Grant family?" "Yes." "Why would she want me?" "Because she saw your work. I've only been running this business for a short time. And I don't know if I'm ready." Mia crossed her arms. "You keep saying that." "Because failing again scares me." "You already failed once." "Exactly." "No. You quit once. There's a difference." The next afternoon, I met Sophia. She placed a folder on the table. "I've reviewed your projects," she said. "You have?" "Yes. Your work is practical, clean, and reliable." "Thank you. I want you to handle a larger project." I looked at the folder. "How large?" "Large enough to change your company." My stomach tightened. "I don't know if I can do it." Sophia leaned back. "Do you want me to tell you why I chose you?" "Yes." "Because you didn't pretend to be bigger than you are." I frowned. "You admitted what you didn't know, then solved it." "That sounds simple." "It isn't." I opened the folder. What happens if I fail? You learn. And if I succeed, then you get another project. I smiled. I'll take it. Sophia extended her hand. Good. Let's begin. That evening, I told Daniel. You accepted it, he asked. I did. You were terrified yesterday. I still am. Then why accept? Because I'm tired of letting fear make my decisions. He nodded. That sounds like the man you used to be. I wanted to believe him. A few days later, an online article appeared about my company. It mentioned the new project and called my business one of the city's promising young technology firms. Claire saw it. She called me immediately. Is this you? Yes. You built this? With me as help? Yes. Why didn't you tell me? You didn't ask. Are you doing this well? I'm doing better. There was a long silence. I need to see you. You can come to Daniel's. She arrived that evening. When I opened the door, she looked at me differently. You've changed. I've been working. No, that's not what I mean. Then what do you mean? You don't look broken anymore. I smiled sadly. I stopped waiting for you to decide what my life should be. She looked toward Daniel. Why is he suddenly different? Daniel answered before I could. Because you taught him that waiting for you was a waste of his life. Claire lowered her eyes. I never wanted to hurt him. Daniel shook his head. You didn't need to want it. She looked at me. Are you trying to punish me? No. Then why won't you come back? Because I'm moving forward. She whispered, without me. Yes. Her eyes filled with tears. Is that really what you want? I want a life where I don't have to beg someone to choose me. She looked away. I thought Ryan would be there. I remembered the name. Is he? No. What happened? He stopped answering. I said nothing. Claire stared at the floor. I thought he loved me. Maybe he loved the excitement. She shook her head. He told me our relationship worked because it had no responsibility. I felt sorry for her, but I didn't reach for her hand. Claire, you wanted freedom. I know. You have it. She looked at me, but now it feels empty. I breathed slowly. That isn't something I can fix. She left without another word. Later that night, Ryan finally answered her call. You disappeared, Claire said. I needed space. From me? Yes. Why? Because I never planned to stay. Her heart sank. You never planned to stay? No. I liked what we had when it was easy. I never wanted a serious relationship. The truth became clear. Ryan had never promised her a future. She had built one in her imagination, and I had already built mine without her. The knock on my office door came just before lunch. Come in. A man stepped inside and closed the door behind him. Mark Reynolds. He nodded. You remember me? I remember you. Ryan's business partner. Former business partner, actually. I leaned back. What happened? I need to tell you something about Claire. Her name tightened something inside my chest. I'm listening. Mark sat across from me. I know you were her husband. I also know what happened after the open marriage conversation. I don't want to hear gossip. This isn't gossip. Then what is it? Mark took a breath. Ryan wanted Claire long before she ever talked to you about an open marriage. I stared at him. How long? Months. My fingers curled against the edge of my desk. You're sure? I watched it happen. He paid attention to her, made her feel important, listened whenever she complained about you, and slowly convinced her that he understood her better than you did. I swallowed. Why? Because it gave him control. Control. He liked being the man she needed. He made her believe she was special, but he was enjoying the attention more than he was building a future with her. I looked toward the window. Did Claire know? I don't think she understood what he was doing. Or she didn't want to understand. Mark lowered his voice. There's more. I turned back. What? Ryan was planning to leave the company. When? Soon. He had been preparing to move overseas. I felt a strange emptiness settle over me. Claire knew. No. So while she was destroying our marriage for him, he was planning a life without her. That's the truth. I stood and walked to the window. You could give me proof. I have emails. Why are you telling me? Because I think she deserves to know who Ryan really is. And because you deserve to know the truth. I turned around. Do you expect me to use this against her? No. Good. Because I won't. Mark looked surprised. You have every reason to hate her. I did. And now? Now I'm trying to stop letting anger decide who I become. He nodded slowly. What will you do with the information? Nothing. Nothing. I won't expose Ryan. I won't humiliate Claire. If she learns the truth, it needs to be because she chooses to face it. Mark stood. You're different from the man I expected. I'm just tired. Tired of what? Fighting people who already chose to hurt me. After he left, I sat alone for a long time. 2 days later, Claire came to my apartment. The moment I opened the door, I knew something had changed. Can I come in? I stepped aside. She walked in, holding her phone tightly. I found out. I said nothing. Ryan was planning to leave the company. He was going overseas. I looked at her. How did you find out? I asked him. And her eyes filled with tears. He didn't deny it. What did he say? She laughed bitterly. He said I was making everything about myself. I remained silent. She wiped her cheek. I asked him if he ever loved me. What did he say? He said I chose him because I was already unhappy with you. My chest tightened, but I forced myself to stay calm. And then? He said he never asked me to destroy my marriage. I closed my eyes for a moment. He's right about that. Claire stared at me. You agree with him? I agree that the choice was yours. She lowered her head. I know. Claire, I never wanted this. I know. You told me you needed freedom. I know. You said our marriage was holding you back. I know. Her voice broke. I was wrong. I looked at her. I thought Ryan saw me. I thought he understood me. I thought choosing him meant choosing a better life. And now I know I was chasing something that never existed. She stepped closer. I made the biggest mistake of my life. I said nothing. Please. My throat tightened. Please what? Take me back. I looked at the woman I had once promised forever. I can't answer that today. Why? Because forgiveness isn't the same as trust. I'll earn your trust. Maybe. Then give me a chance. I need time. She started crying. You said you would always be here. I looked at her through my tears. I was here when you wanted freedom. I can't promise I'll still be here when you want safety. She covered her face. I'm sorry. I believe you. Does that mean there's hope? I took a slow breath. It means I'm finally choosing myself. She nodded, crying quietly. I understand. I opened the door for her. Before leaving, she turned around. Will you ever forgive me? I already started. And will you ever love me again? I couldn't answer. She walked away. I closed the door and stood there, listening to her footsteps disappear. For the first time, I understood that letting someone go did not mean I had stopped caring. Sometimes it meant I cared enough about myself to stop begging them to stay. I walked to the window and looked at the street. My heart hurt, but the pain no longer controlled me. Whatever happened next, I would face it without surrendering the life I had begun rebuilding. I was reviewing a contract when Claire appeared in my office doorway. Can I come in? I looked up. You're already here. She stepped inside slowly. I know I've said I'm sorry, but I need to say it again. You don't have to. I do. She sat down. I'm sorry for every cruel thing I said. I'm sorry for making you feel unwanted. I'm sorry for believing you would never leave me. I closed the folder. You thought I would always wait. Yes. Why? Because you loved me. I did. You always forgave me. That doesn't mean I would always stay. She looked down. I understand that now. What do you want, Claire? I want you to come home. I shook my head. Please. I'm not ready. Then tell me what I have to do. This isn't a list of things you can complete. I'll do anything. You need to understand something. Forgiveness and reconciliation are not the same thing. Her eyes filled with tears. So you forgive me? I'm trying to. But you still won't come home. No. She left quietly. The next morning, she appeared again. Claire, I know I shouldn't be here. You're right. I just wanted to see you. You can't keep coming here. I know. Then why do you? Because when I leave, I remember that you're building a life without me. Her words hit harder than I expected. I need you to listen to me, I said. She nodded. The worst part wasn't Ryan. She stared at me. It wasn't seeing you choose another man. It was realizing you looked at our entire marriage and decided it wasn't enough. I never meant to make you feel that way. But you did. I know. I spent years building a home with you. I thought our ordinary mornings mattered. I thought our arguments mattered because we planned to fix them. I thought our future mattered. It did. Then why wasn't it enough? She cried. I wanted excitement, she whispered. I stopped appreciating what we had because I thought something better was waiting for me. And was it? No. I leaned back. That answer belongs to you now. She wiped her face. Can I sit here? For a little while. She stayed, but I kept my distance. That afternoon, Sophia walked into my office carrying a folder. We got it. I stood. The contract. The biggest contract we've ever landed. I smiled for the first time that day. You're serious? Completely. I shook her hand. Thank you. You did the hard work. We did. She smiled. You know what this means, right? Financial independence. Exactly. I looked at the signed agreement. For the first time, I realized I no longer needed anyone's approval to build my future. Sophia became more than an employee after that. She became a trusted business partner, someone I could rely on when decisions became difficult. One evening, she asked, Are you sure you're okay? I'm getting there. Claire. Yes. You still love her? I thought before answering. I don't know what I feel anymore. Sophia nodded. Then don't use me to make her jealous. I would never do that. Good. I respect you too much for that. That night, I visited my mother. She listened while I explained everything. She wants you back, she asked. Yes. And what do you want? I don't know. Then don't go back simply because she regrets her choice. I'm afraid I'll regret leaving. You might. I looked at her. But you might regret returning more, she said. A week later, I met with a real estate agent. I'm thinking about buying a house, I said. Your own place? Yes. I wanted something that belonged completely to me. No memories forced into every room. No promises made by two people who no longer existed. I didn't know Claire had learned about it until she came to my office that evening. You're buying a house? I nodded. Why didn't you tell me? Because it's my decision. Her face changed. You're building a future without me. I'm building a future for myself. Is there no place for me in it? I don't know. She stepped closer. That scares me. I know. I thought you would eventually come back. So did I. She stared at me through tears. But now. I took a breath. Now I'm finally learning that my future cannot depend on whether you choose me. She covered her mouth. I may have lost you. I answered honestly. You may have lost the version of me who would wait forever. She nodded slowly. And the new you. I'm still becoming him. For once, Claire had no argument. She simply stood there, realizing that the life she once took for granted was moving forward without her. Can I still hope? She asked. I won't tell you to stop hoping, I said. But I won't build my life around your hope. She nodded. I understand. I hope you do. She reached for my hand, then stopped before touching it. I miss the man you were. So do I sometimes. Will you ever let me know if things change? Yes. That's enough for tonight. She left, and I returned to my desk. Claire. She looked back. Thank you for finally understanding that I need a life that belongs to me. Her eyes filled again. I'm sorry it took losing you to understand. I'm sorry too. She left, and I returned to my desk. I was leaving the office when Claire called. Please answer. I stopped beside my car and picked up. What happened? It's my job. My stomach tightened. What about it? Victor suspended me. Why? He found records showing I used company resources to arrange meetings connected to Ryan. Did you? Yes, but I never stole anything. I never intended to commit fraud. I believe you. Then help me. I can help you find someone who knows what to do. You won't come yourself. Claire, I can help you as a human being. I can't step back into the role of your husband. She went quiet. I understand, she whispered. Do you have a lawyer? No. I'll connect you with one. Thank you. The next morning, I called someone I trusted. I need an employment lawyer for Claire, I said. She's facing an internal investigation. My contact gave me a name, and I sent it to her. When Claire called again, her voice sounded smaller. She agreed to represent me. Good. Victor said the investigation could take weeks. Then cooperate fully. I will. What exactly happened? I arranged meetings using company resources because Ryan asked me to. I thought I was helping with business. Did you hide anything? I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. That may matter. I should have asked questions. Yes. She breathed shakily. I lost everything. You still have a chance to rebuild. My position is gone. Maybe temporarily. My reputation is damaged. Then work on repairing it. You make it sound easy. I didn't say it was easy. She cried quietly. I thought Ryan would always protect me. He didn't. I thought my career was the one thing I could always depend on. People and careers can change. And you? What about me? I thought you would always be there too. I was there until you chose a different life. Silence followed. I understand now, she said. What do you understand? There's a difference between someone loving you and someone belonging to you. I closed my eyes. Yes. I thought because you loved me, I could always return. I loved you. That never meant you owned my future. I know. Weeks passed. The investigation continued, and I stayed out of it. I answered no calls from Victor and contacted no executives. Claire's lawyer handled everything. One evening, Claire asked me to meet her. We sat across from each other at a quiet cafe. You look tired, I said. I am. How is the investigation? Still going. Are you managing? I'm trying. She stared at her untouched coffee. I used to think losing Ryan would hurt most. I said nothing. Then I thought losing my career would hurt most. What hurts now? She looked at me, knowing what I lost before either of those things happened. My chest tightened. Claire. I destroyed something valuable because I believed it would always be waiting for me. I looked down at my hands. You can't change that. I know. Are you asking me to? No. She swallowed. I just need to ask you something. Go ahead. Do you hate me? I looked directly at her. I hated what you did to me. I never wanted to hate you. Tears filled her eyes. Can you ever forgive me? Yes. She blinked. Really? I can forgive you. Then maybe we can start again. Forgiveness will not erase what happened. Her expression fell. I know. It doesn't restore trust. I know. It doesn't give us our old life back. I know. She nodded slowly. I used to think punishment meant losing Ryan. I waited. Then I thought it meant losing my career. She wiped her tears. But it isn't either. What is it? Knowing I had something precious, something real, and I threw it away because I believed it would always be waiting for me. I could not argue with that. I hope you build something better, I said. Without you, I don't know what your future will look like. She smiled sadly. But I know you're not coming back just because I'm hurting. No, that hurts. I know. She stood. Thank you for helping me anyway. You didn't deserve to face everything alone. She looked at me for several seconds. I loved you. I know. I still do. I swallowed. I hope someday that love becomes something that helps you grow instead of something you use to hold on to me. She nodded. I understand. I watched her walk away. I sat there for a while after she left. I remembered the woman I had married, the plans we had made, and the ordinary moments I once thought would last forever. None of those memories had become meaningless. They had simply become part of a life I could no longer return to. I finally understood that loving someone did not require me to rescue them from every consequence of their choices. The truth hurt, yet it freed me. A year had passed before I realized I was no longer counting the days since Claire left. My company had grown beyond anything I expected. I had moved into my own apartment, built a routine, and learned to enjoy quiet evenings. For the first time in years, I trusted myself again. One evening, Sophia closed her laptop and smiled. "You know what I noticed?" "What?" "You stop checking your phone every time Claire messages you." I laughed. "That is a strange thing to notice. I work with you every day. I notice things. She still checks on me sometimes. And you answer." "When I want to." Sophia nodded. "Good. I'm not trying to punish her." "I know. I just have boundaries now. And you should keep them." I smiled. "You know, we've become pretty close." "We have. I'm grateful for that. Are you ready to date again?" I shook my head. "No, not even a little. I need to know I can stand alone before I let someone stand beside me." Sophia smiled softly. "That is probably the healthiest answer you've ever given me." A few days later, Claire called. "Can I ask you something?" "Sure." "Would you meet me?" "When?" "Tomorrow evening." "Where?" "The restaurant where we celebrated our first anniversary." I paused. "Why there?" "I want to give you something." I agreed. The next evening, I arrived early and sat at the same table we had once shared. When Claire walked in, I barely recognized the woman I remembered. She looked calmer. "Hi," she said. "Hi. Thank you for coming." I almost didn't. "I know." She sat across from me and placed a small envelope on the table. "What is that?" "Open it." I pulled out an old photograph. I stared at it. It was us, standing outside our first apartment, younger, smiling, and completely certain that love would solve everything. "I remember that day," I said. "So do I." "You kept this?" "For years." I turned the photograph over. "Why are you giving it to me?" "Because I don't expect another chance." I looked at her. "You don't?" "No." She took a breath. "I used to come here hoping you would tell me we could start over. I don't feel that way anymore." "What changed?" I finally understood what I lost. I looked at the photograph again. "I remember the good years," I said. "I always will." Claire nodded. "We were happy." "We were. You gave me a good life." "So did you." She smiled sadly. "I wish I had understood its value while I had it." I lowered the photograph. "I can't return to the person I was before everything happened." "I know. That man trusted you completely." "I know. He believed love meant staying no matter what." "I know. I'm not that man anymore." Claire's eyes filled with tears. "I can see that." She wiped her cheek. "I'm not asking you to become him again." I felt something inside me loosen. "Thank you. I spent a long time thinking your rejection was the punishment I deserved." I said nothing, but now I understand that you don't owe me punishment or forgiveness beyond what you freely choose. "I forgive you." She closed her eyes. "Thank you. But forgiveness doesn't mean I want my old life back." "I understand." She cried quietly, yet she did not argue. That was when I realized something had changed. A year ago, I wanted Claire to regret choosing Ryan. I wanted her to understand my pain. I wanted her to look at me and realize what she had lost. Now, none of that mattered. I had spent so much time thinking victory meant watching someone regret hurting me. It didn't. Victory was waking up without needing her approval. Victory was building a successful company without proving anything to her. Victory was coming home to an apartment that belonged only to me and feeling peaceful. Claire looked at me. "Are you happy?" I thought about the question. "Yes." She smiled through her tears. "That's all I wanted to know. You deserve happiness too. I hope I find it." "I hope you do." She stood and held out her hand. I took it. "Goodbye," she whispered. "Goodbye, Claire." She left without asking me to follow. I stayed at the table for another minute, holding the old photograph. Then I placed it carefully inside my wallet. I would remember the man I had been. I would remember the woman I had loved. I would remember the years that were good and the choices that changed everything. But I would not live inside those memories. I walked out of the restaurant alone. For once, alone did not mean abandoned. It meant free. And as I stepped into the night, I understood the choice I never thought I could make. I could love what we had been without needing to become who I used to be. I did not need a promise or another chance to rewrite our ending. I needed courage to accept that our story had changed forever and my life could become beautiful. I stood inside the unfinished headquarters, staring at the enormous glass wall overlooking the city. Tomorrow, I would launch the biggest project of my career. A year ago, I had been terrified of losing everything. Now I was standing inside something I had built with my own hands. Sophia walked beside me. "You're quiet." "I'm thinking. About tomorrow. About everything." She smiled. "That sounds dangerous." I laughed. I used to think losing Claire meant losing my future. And now I realize losing that life gave me the chance to build this one. Sophia looked around. "You really did this." "We did." "You always say that." "Because it's true." She folded her arms. "Are you nervous?" "Of course." "Good. Good. It means you care." I looked through the glass. "I care about getting it right." "You will." My phone vibrated. I looked down and saw Claire's name. For several seconds, I considered ignoring the message. I opened it. "I hope you find happiness, even if that happiness is not with me." I stared at those words. Sophia noticed my expression. "Claire." "Yes." "Do you want me to leave?" "No." "What did she say?" I showed her the message. Sophia read it and handed my phone back. "What are you going to say?" "I don't know." "You don't have to answer." "I know." I looked at the screen again. Then I typed, "I hope you find it too." I sent the message. "That's all." "That's all." Sophia smiled. "Then I think you're ready." "For what?" "For tomorrow." I put my phone away. "Maybe." The next morning, the building was filled with investors, partners, employees, reporters, and guests. I stood backstage while Sophia reviewed the schedule. "5 minutes," she said. "Everything ready?" "Yes." "Any problems?" "None." She looked at me. "You're shaking." "I am not." "You are." I looked at my hands. "Maybe a little." She laughed. "You've negotiated contracts worth millions without blinking." "This is different." "Why?" "Because this is mine." Sophia nodded. "Then go show them what you built." I walked onto the stage. The applause hit me immediately. I looked across the crowd and began speaking. "When I started this company, I had one goal. I wanted to build something that could survive without depending on anyone's approval." I paused. That goal became personal. I continued. "I learned that success is not only about money, position, or recognition. Sometimes success is simply becoming someone you respect when you look in the mirror." The room became quiet. I lost things along the way. Some were painful losses. Some were necessary. But every loss taught me something. I looked toward the audience. And today, I'm proud of what we built. The applause returned, louder this time. I smiled. Then I saw Claire. She stood near the back. She wasn't holding flowers. She wasn't trying to get my attention. She was simply watching. For a moment, our eyes met. She smiled. I turned back toward the audience. The presentation continued, and when it ended, the room erupted in applause. Sophia came toward me. "You did it." I exhaled. "We did it." She hugged me. "I'm proud of you." "Thank you." "You should be proud of yourself." "I am." Later, after most of the guests had left, I stepped outside. Claire was waiting near the entrance. I stopped. "You came." "I wanted to see the launch." "You didn't have to." "I know." She looked up at the building. "It's beautiful." "Thank you. You really changed." I smiled. "So did you." She nodded. "I meant what I said in my message." "I know. I'm not here to ask for anything." I know. I just wanted to support you. I looked at her. Thank you. She smiled sadly. I used to think I needed you to make me happy. And now I know I need to make my own life meaningful. That's a good thing to learn. It took me too long. Sometimes lessons come late. She laughed softly. I'm glad you're happy. I am. I can see that. We stood quietly. Then she said, Goodbye. Goodbye, Claire. She walked away. I watched until she disappeared into the crowd. For the first time, I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel triumph. I didn't even feel the need to wonder whether she regretted losing me. I simply felt peace. The open marriage had not destroyed my life. It had destroyed the version of my life where I believed love meant sacrificing myself. For years, I had confused devotion with disappearing inside another person's needs. I thought being a good husband meant accepting every wound because leaving would prove that I had never loved enough. I was wrong. Love could be powerful, but love without self-respect could become another kind of prison. I walked farther from the building and stopped beneath the city lights. Sophia came outside. You leaving? In a minute. You okay? I looked at the building behind me. Better than okay. She smiled. Do you want company? I considered it. Not tonight. She nodded. Good night. Good night. She went back inside. I remained outside alone. Cars moved through the streets. Lights filled the windows. The city seemed endless. I thought about the man who had once sat alone in an empty apartment, wondering why he had not been enough. I wished I could go back and tell him something. You were always enough. I took a slow breath. I had spent so long believing being alone meant losing. Now I understood something different. Being alone was not the same as being lonely. I had my company. I had my work. I had people I trusted. I had my future. Most importantly, I had myself. I looked up at the building I had built. It represented more than success. It represented every choice I had made after losing everything. I had not rebuilt my life to make Claire regret leaving. I had rebuilt it because I finally understood that my life belonged to me. I smiled. For the first time, I wasn't waiting for someone to choose me. I had already made my choice. I chose myself. And for the first time in my life, that was enough.